Stock market investors, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. Today we're going to be talking about SoFi stock. There's been a nice little run up. Went all the way down to 21, now back to $25, $26 range. In today's video, I just want to give you guys my thoughts on where I think SoFi can go for the rest of the year. We've seen a huge run up over the last calendar year, year to date, the last 3 months, any way you slice it. The stock has been running up, so I'm going to kind of break down some of the fundamentals of the stock, see where we're a little overvalued, undervalued, and some areas of caution, right, where we got to be careful as we're moving forward, plus a couple of catalysts that could shoot the stock up if all these things line up over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Let's get into the video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for the video. If you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It does really help us get into that crazy YouTube algorithm. I'm not going to go through a bunch of technical analysis and breaking down the fundamentals of the company and doing all of that today. I just want to give you my overall kind of feelings on where I think this stock could go in the short term. That means within the next 6 months. If we take a look at your screen right here, we dipped under 26 bucks today, but over the last month we're up to over 20%. Over the last 3 months, almost a double up. Year to date, crushing it, 70%. Over the last year, up almost 250%, guys. Almost 2.5x times our money. It's really, really crazy. In this little baby Robinhood account, I have like what? 346 shares. In my bigger account, I have around 4,000 shares. I got some in an IRA here, an IRA there. So all in all, about 5,000 shares, right? So I am buying back some shares for sure. But I want to kind of just take a look at, like, if you just put in Google SoFi stock, I mean, it's just like there's so much positivity for the stock right now. We just got to pump the brakes a little bit and not go YOLO and into the stock. Could it potentially go to 30, 35 by the end of the year? 100%. But it's already 2.5x over the last year and a lot of good buzz. SoFi hits new all-time high. SoFi stock trades up. Here is why. We did have a big sale here. Market beat announced Dimensional Fund Advisors LP sells 5 million shares of SoFi, but institutional investors have been buying a lot, so I'm not really concerned about that. One reason SoFi is one of the best financial stocks you could buy today. A lot of positivity, right? The bull case for SoFi could change following rate cut signals and analyst upgrades, right? A lot of positive momentum. Is SoFi Technologies a millionaire maker? A lot of positivity going on with the stock right now, guys, which is great. Especially if you got in when I was telling you guys to, under 10 bucks a share. We've really, really appreciated our net worth over the last year or so, right? So we're going to go to statistics and just kind of look at the stock overall, right? I mean, just back in June of 2024, we had a $7 billion valuation in the market cap. It's $31 billion now, guys. So, I mean, woo, baby. I mean, it's, 4x market cap wise, right? So that's a big deal, right? Trailing PE in the 50s, forward PE in the 70s is like the highest it's been in forever, right? So we got to keep our eye on that. PEG ratios, you usually want to buy around 1. It's 4 times that at around 4, right? So, and we've seen, since March of 2025, we've went up 1 point every quarter seemingly, right? The price to sales is at an all-time high as well at 10. I haven't seen the price to sales for SoFi this high, I don't think ever, right? Same thing with price to book over 4. You really want to be buying price to book between 1 and 2 in my opinion, right? So if we take a look at the profit margin, 18.54%, operating margins at 13%, all really good, solid numbers. Remember, TTM means trailing 12 months, guys. That's the previous 12 months, right? Income statement revenue, $3 billion. Quarterly revenue growth year over year, 44%. That's remarkable, right? We saw that in the last earnings report. Extremely impressive, right? Gross profit, $2.49 billion. Really, really good stuff we're seeing out of SoFi stock, right? The balance sheet. This is where things start to get a little interesting, in my opinion. Some changes that I have seen from the past, 6, 12, 18 months. Total cash, $2 billion. Great, right? But then you look at total debt. has skyrocketed over $4 billion. It's not uncommon for banks to carry a huge debt load, but it's definitely something as an investor you have to take into consideration when you are investing in a company. The operating cash flow over the trailing 12 months, we're still in the negative, right? So that obviously the last few quarters, that has changed, right? So that will change as we go quarter and quarter, and the trailing 12 months gets further and further in the past from this recent earnings report, right? So we take a look at held by institutions, around 53% from Yahoo Finance. Fintel's a little more updated, comes around 51%, so that's a little bit, closer in my opinion. The short percent of the float is under 10%. Historically, it was at 15, 12, 18, in that 12 to 20% range of short, right? It's now under 10%. We want to get that under 5, which is kind of ideal in this banking sector, or pretty much any stock that you invest in, right? So we want to be cautious with that. Now, let's talk about some of the positive stuff that's happening as we move forward. SoFi has had a slew of announcements over the last 6 months, one being that public offering of $1.5 billion. That's going to give them some access to capital where they can go out and acquire a company and grow the brand, which I really, really like. And they also announced that SoFi is partnering with Lightspark to power blockchain-enabled international money transfers. They're going to collect fees on people sending money all across the globe. As we become more and more of a global economy, this is a great way for them to get more fee-based income, right? High margin business, which I absolutely love. They also discussed getting back into crypto, which is huge for this platform. We've seen what crypto has done for a stock like Robinhood, right? The amount of fees that they're collecting has really sent that stock into the stratosphere. And if SoFi can even get a small percentage of that, it's really going to help with profitability as we go down the road. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about today is the macro environment. Jerome Powell just announced at the Jackson Hole Summit that in September they could potentially start to cut rates because of the current environment, right? So interest rates over the last several years have been very, very, very high, right? And SoFi, they just bought that mortgage company, so they're really going to benefit from lower rates with cash out refis, new mortgages, just all these kind of home equity loans that are going to be available to people. Americans have built up a huge amount of home equity over the last 5 years, and they could put that money to work for them if they want to make additions or all kinds of stuff to their homes. And SoFi is going to be a direct beneficiary of that, whether it's mortgages, cash out refis, whatever these people want to do with that equity they built up in their homes. These are huge things that SoFi can kind of monetize, right? So, and then with Donald Trump's new kind of student loan limitations that they're putting on how much money you could get from the government, companies like SoFi will benefit from that as well. So from home loans, student loans, I think the next 6, 12, 18 months, we're going to see a huge revenue spike in those particular businesses for SoFi. So where do I think the stock trends over the next 6 to 12 months, right? We've seen a huge run up, guys, right? So if we kind of trade it flat in that 21 to 27, $28 range, going up and down, it wouldn't surprise me. Even like just this past week, we went down to $21, now back to $26. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, right? So what I'm doing is I'm selling some cash secured puts, right? And what I'm doing is $26 now. I'm selling the cash secured puts at 24, 23, 25, just trying to get SoFi at cheaper and cheaper prices, collecting some premium along the way. And if my options are out of the money, I just take the premium that I made and nibble off some SoFi shares, a couple here, a couple there, and just dollar cost average, right? Just kind of accumulating shares and getting ready for this interest rate environment that's going to be very beneficial to a company like SoFi, guys. If you want more updates on SoFi stock and my kind of the way I see the marketplace, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We just crossed 3,000 subscribers. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Peace.